Paul is writing this to Timothy. Notice what he says. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds. Not suggest, command. And to be generous, here's our term for the day, and willing to share. In this way, watch this, they lay up treasure for themselves. So generous people are laying up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of life that is truly life. So what is he talking about? Here's the answer. Write it down. Every Christ follower has a heavenly bank account. That's what Paul's talking about. So it may be credited to your account. Now, how many of you are getting rich on the interest in your current bank account here in the United States? Less than 1%. You look at it, it never changes. It just as nothing happened. Paul says, every one of us have a heavenly bank account, and its interest is way better than it here on earth. It's actually out of this world. Some of you didn't get it. By the time you get home, you'll catch that one. So what is Paul saying to them? By you being generous with me, thank you so much, but this was good for you too. The gifts they gave to Paul were accruing eternal dividends. We don't understand how all that works, but it was a huge principle that he'd learned. Here's what Paul learned, and you have to learn it. Write it down this morning. Sharing ourselves and our resources with others does us good. Does us good. And so does turning off the cell phone. Okay. So what am I saying? Sharing ourselves and our resources with others, it helps them, but who else does it help? If you share with others, what does it do to you? Does it help you or hurt you? It helps you. Raise your hand and say, it helps you. Raise your hand. If I share myself with others, it does what to me? It helps. Just get your hand raised. It helps who? It helps me. See, our world doesn't understand that. Okay, Pastor Mark, you're going to talk about tithing right now, correct? No. You see, we have this funky thing that if we walk into a church and they talk about sharing yourself or your time, good. But the minute you mention money, there's chills down people's minds. But see, look at this principle. Sharing ourselves and our resources with others does good. How do I know that's a true principle? Well, Paul just told us, but it goes way back to the Old Testament. Look at what Proverbs says. A generous man will prosper. What does the world say? Exactly the opposite. You hoard yourself and that's how you prosper. No. God's rules are very different. When we share ourselves and others, we prosper. Look what he continues. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. If you never learn that principle, you will always be stingy with yourself and your time. You will become a taker and always self-centered. There's no joy in that. And there's nothing going to the eternal bank account.